Hello. Hello, everyone. Please come into the hall. We're about to start. Please come into the hall. Thank you very much. Okay, let's make our way into the hall, please. It's just one person. Okay, let's make our way in, please. Let's make our way into the hall. We're about to start. This time, for real, we're about to start. Thank you very much for your patience. We're very grateful. Let's make our way into the hall. Okay? Welcome, welcome, everyone. Please make your way in. Welcome. You're very welcome. Welcome, everyone. Please make your way in. Have a seat. Feel comfortable. We have a very exciting program ahead. Welcome. Sit down. Okay. Okay, good morning once again. I promised this last time I was going to say good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for making it here on time. Thank you so much for, being patient with us. We sincerely apologize for starting so late. This is not the LBS way, and we really, really would like to make it up by ending at the very same time that we promised to end. So we're going to, really squeeze in everything, and you still get the value out of it. Thank you so much for making it. So right now, I'm just going to hand over to the MBA director to give his welcome address. Over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone, and good morning again. So my name is Chinedu Mewuzie, and I'm also an alumni member and also a staff of the MBA department. And I'm here to welcome you to the 5th LBS MBA Entrepreneurship Expo and Contest today. So at LBS, through our various programs and activities, we basically help professionals develop the skills necessary to build sustainable businesses. But as we all know, success in business goes beyond your skills, your professionalism, and all those nice things we say. Sometimes professionals succeed because of the networks that they belong to. Yeah, but the question is, what do these networks do? So beyond meeting people, networks serve as a place to share ideas, critique ideas, talk about business, and come up with new ideas. And that's the exact reason why we're here. So we're here to learn from a select panel of Nigerian CEOs how to find growth opportunities and develop purposeful businesses in Africa. So we're basically asking ourselves, what do we need to do to grow sustainable businesses in Africa? And this is what our panelists will address. And also, our MBAs will also pitch their business ideas based on this same theme. We would also get to see a couple of them do demos of their products and their services. So you can see we have some stands outside there. And the intention of this is also to make this a regular event and basically build this to a network of people who will be devoted to building sustainable businesses in Africa and entrepreneurship. So it will be interesting to see the range of ideas we have. So for example, we have people who are talking about building businesses in the East. We have people who are talking about building platforms on how we can attract finance from everywhere around the world. So the point is that we have a range of ideas from our MBAs. So at this event today, we have, of course, our panelists who are a select crop of Nigerian CEOs who will basically be discussing how to find growth opportunities and develop purposeful businesses in Africa. We have our students who are from the 4 different cohorts. We have our full-time MBA students, we have our modular executive MBA students, we have our executive MBA students, and of course we have our MMBA students. Now these students have decided to take the bold step to come and tell us about their businesses. Talk about their ideas, talk about their passion. And we also have our exhibitors and our sponsors who have also contributed towards the success of this event. So what's going to happen at the end of this event is that first we get to share and learn from each other. We get to share and learn different business ideas. Our panelists will select on our behalf the business ideas with the most potential. So the MBAs will present, our panelists will choose on our behalf. Now the good thing is that these winners will receive cash prizes. Now, the essence of this cash prize is for them to start, basically get the working capital to start their businesses. So we're hoping to look forward to another 1 year or 2 years looking at these business ideas that were here, turning into full businesses. And we also hope to learn, and we also hope to basically see if these businesses are worth investing in. I mean, we might think, we want to play a part want to be a part of this business by being an investor, by being a mentor, by possibly even being a customer. So to conclude, I would just reiterate, so we're here to talk business, we're here to talk sustainable business. This is the community that we're all familiar with. Most of us are ex-schools, most of us have had a role to play in LBS one way or the other. And I wish everyone a good day. Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to take our keynote address from Dr. Fatumata Sokuna Koka. She has over 20 years of working experience with Fortune 500 companies in the high-tech industry, including extensive global management responsibilities at IBM in the US, African experience at Microsoft, and Nigerian experience at Soft Solutions Limited. Dr. Koka's passion for technology is underpinned with about 10 years with IBM in the US. Dr. Koka is the chairman of the AfriInvest Securities Limited, a leading Nigeria-based investment bank, and in December 2019, she was appointed chairman, board of director at Credit Registry Services. She also participates in startup forums and IT incubators across the globe, including faith-based organizations as well, and is a very active member in her communities. She's Liberian-born and is passionate and dedicated to the transformation of her African continent through technology, and incredibly committed to all her various communities that she's a part of around the globe. Please join me to make welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Koka.
Okay, can you all hear me? Good. Thanks for having me, and good to see some familiar faces in the audience. Because of time, I have a slide all created to talk about numbers and all the stuff about entrepreneurship. But I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to talk about the reality. I'm going to leave you with the slides to go through them, and then you can ask me some questions that might be burning on your heart, and hopefully we'll have enough time to do all of this in 30 minutes, and we can get the panelists on to discuss. Agree? Good. All right. So, this topic of entrepreneurship, I think I'm supposed to change this thing, right? Okay. So in my years of entrepreneurship, we all start very early. I started very early. I used to sell anything and everything when I was a teenager in my house. Starting from the candy, I would negotiate with my siblings. You know, I had a vision to be a business owner, and I was a serial entrepreneur, trying to change the world in any little way I could. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, you know, we think about people that do great things, right? That change the world, that change lives, that increase and enhance things. Our world is in a different place, a better place because of what they have invented or innovated around. And it is true in many ways. Now, the reality of us being entrepreneur on our continent is this. I don't know if you can see this picture, but you see a lot of one persons standing in some place trying to trade. We are entrepreneurs because of necessity. We have to be. We need to survive, right? So when we think about entrepreneurship, from that perspective, we need to survive. We need to hire ourselves to be able to pay our rent, send our kids to school, put roof over our heads, and so forth. So if we think about our parents, my grandmother was an entrepreneur. She could bake anything. I mean, when I say bake anything, she could bake anything, right? She was always trying to make ends meet. In our world, that's an entrepreneur. Is she really changing the world? No, but she's helping her children, right? That's the world change as well. So our reality is not quite the picture that is painted, but it gives us great opportunity because we're in a market where, if you think about it, let me go this way, we have the medium, small, micro, medium, small businesses in Nigeria alone is larger than the population of Ghana, is larger than the population of SA. So we have an immense opportunity as entrepreneurs here. Now the difference between my grandmother, my mother and I, my father, your fathers, is that we're sitting in this room and we're at LBS. So the necessity part we've overcome, right? We're now at the level of creating that sustainable growth in a business. So now that we're here, let's take a look at what is possible. When we start to think about what we want to do as an entrepreneur, as that change agent, as that person that is about to pivot the trajectory of the next generation, we are in a prime position to do amazing things. 97% of entrepreneurs in this country hire 85% of Nigerians. 85%. You're either hiring yourself or you're hiring somebody else. That's massive. The issue now is, how do you take that struggling business to where you can create value and growth and profitability, right? So here are some numbers here to give you an idea. 14% private investment. You have others that are doing wholesale trading, 55%. You've got 73% of that are sole proprietorship. So there's a spread of different things that's happening. This data also let us know that most of our sole proprietorship, which is like 73%, they have about 1 million to 5 million naira in asset, okay? So as you're thinking about building a business, start to think about the demographic and where you can offer that service or product, okay? You also see that we have very minimum 10 to 15% in manufacturing. What does that mean? Why? Those are opportunities that you can look at. One of the things that were interesting to me is that only 23% of the entrepreneurs in Nigeria are women. 77% are men. Interesting number for me. And of course, SME owners are between 20 to 60 years old, right? Now, ease of doing business in Nigeria. The overhead is high, right? Anytime we think about doing a business, especially when you've come to LBS and got a degree and you've done all this work, every Saturday you're here, you're working in groups, you're finally done, let me go and get a job. Because really, I can't deal with what's possible, right? Now, the truth is, the opportunity is really in the entrepreneurship. Like I showed you the numbers and what is happening. There's so much more because most of that numbers that I just showed you are people that are trading and they need services and they need different kind of strategy for their businesses, okay? So we're now at this ease of business because that's always the question. Excuse me, ma'am, how can I do this? You know, it's hard to do business in Nigeria. Here are some of your challenges, access to finance, you know, the same norm, right? Duplication of taxes and so forth. Pay your taxes and then ask questions as well. Insecurity, dilapidated infrastructure, all of these are challenges. And they won't just disappear, but within challenges, there are opportunities. And now that you have the opportunity to be sitting in this auditorium, we have to ask ourselves, how and what do I need to do it? There are many tools and there are many different things, and I showed the discussion will go on that. But I picked two to share with you. As a small business owner or an entrepreneur or someone who's looking to start a business, what should you be building a foundation on? The first thing that I pick to share with you all, oh, by the way, let me go back. I like this picture. You know, that's mostly most of us, right? Standing at that corner, the next corner says, prosperity is right around the corner. The next side says, it's on the other side. So you're kind of in between thinking, which is which, where is it? But the first one that I will talk to is leadership. And for me, in a business situation that you're looking at, that you want to take that risk, understand that leadership is action. It's not a position. Okay? Don't be one of those leaders who just looking to get the title on your card, your business card, right? Leadership is action. So, what does that mean for me that want to start my business? The first thing is to develop a vision. Develop a vision. Know your vision, right? It's important. Because if you do not have a business vision, your business plan is great, but where and what that business is supposed to do is most important. That will keep you solid on your way, because you will get disappointed a lot of times. But if you do not have a vision for that business, you will waver and you will fail. So know that building a business plan, you have got to have a vision. Adopt that business plan to current trend. Understand that your vision doesn't change, but your business plan can change, because you have to adapt to the current trend. You are dealing with human beings that involve our needs changes and things changes. COVID happened. Who would have thought, right? We had to pivot. A lot of businesses had to pivot, but they didn't change the vision for what they wanted to accomplish or want to accomplish in what they set to do. Perseverance is very, very, very needed. If you cannot stick to it, you will lose it. You have to persevere. You have to be consistent, and you have to persevere. Even if someone says to you, Fatimata, this business, Sha, how far? Understand your vision. You can say to that person, or to even your mom and dad, because some of us will go through that situation where your mom is saying, this is your chinikon, how far? Mom, I'm trying to solve a problem for the world. Stick with it. Have that perseverance. The next thing is keep detailed records. You know, as an entrepreneur, as you start your business, don't take for granted the time that you're putting in the beginning. Why? Because that is also valued in your evaluation. Time, research. Some of us go to seminars. Some of us are probably sitting here trying to figure out what to do. All of these things, your time, your resources, they're all important. So take detailed documentation of these things. Network that you're in, how much you're paying to go to these things. Always keep your records. Once you get in that practice, when you now get to a place where you're running a business, it becomes part of your DNA. Lastly, be knowledgeable about the business that you're going in. I'll give an example. I actually had a situation with a person I was coaching, and she wants to go into this, she is into these, the e-commerce business and building her own tech app. And she says to me, oh, I'm not a techie person. I don't know technology. So I hired someone to do it. And I was shocked because this is the business this person is going into. You have to know your business. Like they say, know your market. If you don't know your market, you will not succeed. It's very important. No matter what business you get in, you have to be knowledgeable. If you're not a techie person, know what you want from technology, because that technology has to deliver exactly what your vision is, or else it is not the technology for your business and you won't be successful. The next part that I want to share with you is governance. Governance is important. You're not anymore at the trading level, selling tomatoes and apple, agege bread. No. You're now fortunate to be at the place where you're about to change the world. You're about to change lives. You're about to offer services and products that will enhance lives. So you need to understand good governance. Openness, transparency, integrity is important in your business as a business person. If you start to do anyhow, that's how your business will do anyhow. Your customers will do anyhow. You won't get the kind of premium on the services you're supposed to get. Now, performance-oriented is important. As you're hiring people, think about what you're doing. I see a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners hiring people as if they're doing them a favor. If you only have 20K to hire someone, Pico, go and find service. Let someone give you a service. Don't hire a person. And then act as you are doing them a favor. The way you treat your internal clients is how your external clients will be treated. If you treat your employees badly, they will treat your customers badly. If you use your employees as your domestic cousins, they will use your customers as their domestic cousins. So pay attention to when you hire, why you hired. Create a culture that is very performance-driven and respectful and open. If that resource cannot give you what you want, fire that resource and hire the right resource. Okay? So, on the governance side, analyzing. Analyzing is very important. Your competitors are going to take you out if they have more money. They're going to take you out if they have more skill set. And you need to know where you fit within your business arena. Learn to take risk, calculative risk. 30% of startups fail in the first 2 to 3 years. Why? Because they don't know how to take risk that is calculated. And those that take risk that is calculated, they stay longer in the business. Okay? Develop a robust reward system. Again, back to your employees. Always understand that not because you're starting a business, the first thing is to open an office, get a receptionist, an office manager, find a marketing person. No, that's not how it works. You have to be all those things first. And then, when you have reached your max, you then hire someone to take on that role. If you do not know those roles initially, what's going to happen is you will be unable to manage and direct your team. So always remember that. Also, have a business strategy that someone can question you on. As you build your business, documentation is important. Strategy is not for you to do and put in the desk. Strategy is for you to execute. Strategy is not tactic. Strategy is where you want to be. The tactic is how you get to it. Okay? Offer quality customer service. don't manage your customer. Just be managing now. You know we are all managers. Don't manage your customers. You are coming from a very prestigious situation in LBS. LBS didn't manage you. Abi? Did LBS manage you? No. And now, don't manage your customers. That's not what it's about. It's about giving quality customer service that sets you apart from your competitor. No matter what you're doing, you could simply just be offering a consulting service to someone about bookkeeping. Let's start that. Be on time. Deliver when you say you will. Make sure that the person is not waiting on you and costing your customer money. No stories, accident, Okada hits me, my phone dropped in the water, my villagers were against me. Please, focus on giving that quality customer service because that is going to differentiate you from others. Last but not the least, have a succession plan. If and when X happens, this is the next step. No employee, including yourself, in your business is indispensable. Also make sure that that is something you built in your business strategy to enable your business to go beyond you, beyond your children. And by the way, it's also okay to decide to groom your kids to be in your business, but groom them to know the business, not just bring them to run it down and finish all your shareholders' money, right, when you get to that place. So a succession plan is great because you're building again on that vision that I spoke about. As a leader, your trajectory is about 100 years from now. You see that if you're gone, your great-great-great-grandchildren are doing something with something that you started and it will still be changing lives in the future. An entrepreneur is a visionary, not a businessman or woman. Thank you very much. And do you have any questions?
Okay, thank you, madam.
I can hear you.
Okay, so just a clarity. You mentioned an entrepreneur who wasn't very good in the tech area, but feels that she could hire someone to cover that area. It's not her strong area, so I'm just thinking, is anything wrong in her getting someone to help her in that area to ensure that, I mean, she's able to get something that would meet the customer's need? Thank you.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. What is wrong with it is giving your vision to that resource. That's what's wrong with it. So if I hired someone to, say, build me a website, I should know exactly in my mind what I want that website to look like, what it should do, and how it should do it. That person is coming only to execute my vision, not to own it. So I shouldn't be sitting there saying, so should we have green? Should we put it here? Do you think? No. I should be saying, no, I want it here. I need it here. It's not doing this. That's your job as the visionary. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. So I just have two questions here. First, you mentioned something at the outset of your presentation that our entrepreneurship drive has grown beyond necessity, that we are now talking about sustainability. I want to shed more light on that. Given this popular aphorism about necessity is the mother of invention, and given that I'm sure there's still a lot of problems that are still unsolved. So please, can you shed more light on that? And the second thing is around the statistics you gave about 35% of employees, of workers in Nigeria employed by the MSMEs, even though the fact still remains that government is still the largest employer of labor. Can you try to be able to reconcile this, please?
Okay, so let me see if I got your first question. The first one is to share more light on the sustainability part once you move from the trading, right? And then the second one is that the Nigerian government is the largest. Okay. So let me go back to your latter question. So this was 2020, I think. It says that MSMEs contribute about 50% to GDP. 50%, half, okay? And account for 96% of the number of business in the country. It also says that that number is 41.5 million. That's larger than Ghana, South Africa, Liberia, the whole the whole Mana River Union, 4 countries, right? It says that SMEs contribute 84%. So I don't know where you get that number that the government is the largest employer. 84% of people in this country are hired by mama and papa. Not even Dangote. She gets. So, I think the reality is quite different from the perception on that one, okay? So, every last one of us individuals can contribute to that GDP if we started something to hire ourselves or others. Now, on sustainability, like I said, there are all these challenges. But if you start to work internally on you, which is leadership, understanding your vision, what you want, how you're going to get there, enabling yourself to have the kind of perseverance to take you through the hardship of entrepreneurship because you want to change something. You want to offer a solution to a set of people, right? You stay with it and you have governance. You know, it's easy for people to quickly start to have cash flow and think they have a profitable business. You don't. You have your vendor money. Pay them. Don't spend it. It's not your money. Okay? So once you can sustain your overhead, your cost, and oh, by the way, let me just mention something. Anyone that's starting a business and you start spending before you get a revenue, you are going to die. It's not going to work. You don't spend until you get something in, because where are you going to get the money to pay for what you're spending? Most entrepreneurs start in their homes because the overhead is already taken care of. You live there, you need to have electricity, you need to have all those things to live, so you start to share that cost, right, to get the business going. Once the business starts and you see that you have revenue and the demands of the business now drives you to add costs associated with the business. For each revenue dollar I earn, there's a cost associated to it. Each dollar or each naira you get in, there's an associated cost to it, right? So that's how you start to understand how you build that sustainability. Today, we're speaking at that level because we're not at the trading place anymore. We're not doing tomatoes for, you know, and gari and all of that. And even in that business model, they have sustainability in it. Because if I buy gari from you for 5 naira, I'll sell it for 6 naira. Abi? My cost from taking the gari from you and taking is probably a 50 kobo, but at least that 50 kobo is also something I have saved. So there's also in that model some kind of sustainability to be able to turn around. Okay? Did that answer your question? Okay, thanks.
Thank you. My question is, what sort of competence will I need to develop to be able to sit on boards, you know, business competence, personal competence, and otherwise? Thank you.
So her question was, what kind of competence she needs to develop to sit on boards and, you know, skills and so forth. You know, that's a very good question, eh? God is good. But you have to put the work in, right? And I remember a saying, I think it was Warren Buffett that said that some things just takes time. And he said it this way. He said, if you want to have a baby, you have to wait 9 months. You cannot go ahead and have 9 women pregnant and get a baby. You still have to wait 9 months. It takes a lot of planning to where you want to get. If you ask me, my vision has always been positive change through technology on the continent. So no matter where I was in my career, I always had a compass towards that. What can I do to make a difference? How can I change? Because my background was really war-torn. I came from Liberia, war situation and so forth. And so I wanted to give back because I was graced to be where I am. And so everything I did was focused on that particular vision. Again, vision does not only have to be for your business. Vision can be for you, what you want to do, purposefully do, right? And then my skill levels started to pivot in those things that I thought was leading towards the vision of myself and what I wanted to do. So I'll get jobs that were not particularly where I wanted to go, but it would give me the network, so I'll do it. I'll have opportunities that were not quite enjoyable, but I needed that skill set, so I will engage in it. And I had opportunities that were great, but they were taking me too away from my vision. I didn't go for it. Delay sometimes is best, because that's when you can enjoy the rise when it comes, right? Because now you're solidified, you have the credential, you have the experience, and you also have the value to bring to bear. So I know I answered your question roundabout. I didn't want to get too personal, but set a vision, understand that vision, commit to it. Make sure everything else you do, personally, career-wise, is bringing you to accomplish that particular vision. And the boards will come. Any other question? Oh, there's a question down here. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Hello? So, lovely presentation, by the way.
Yeah, I guess you have to hold it a particular way or something.
Hello?
Yeah,
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so lovely presentation, and it's something very close to my heart, as it were. Okay, so a few questions. The first of them is, for a startup, how do you pick your board? And what are you looking for when you're picking your board? So is it finance that is the focus? Is it competence, or is it networks?
Okay.
And what do you prioritize? That's
okay.
number one. The second one is, I think, so you were speaking about, I think it was quality of service. I think it's important to, so you spoke about managing the customer. And I think it's important to put that in context properly, because for a startup, you actually will be managing the customer a lot. Because businesses can be a bit difficult, especially small businesses. And then the final one is, there's a point on accessing, so when you're mentioning the challenges, I thought it would have been good to have a mention on access to markets, access to new markets, because that's a big challenge for SMEs. They usually have problems scaling beyond their local environments. Okay. All right.
Okay, so he had 3 questions. One is about board. As a startup, what is important when you're picking a board for your startup? The other is managing your customer. because you have to manage your customer, but you know what I meant when I say manage. Manage yourself. Manage your customer. And then the third is, remind me again.
Accessing new markets.
Access to new markets.
Scaling beyond,
okay.
Yeah, local market.
So when you say access to new market, you're going in a new market?
So they typically would start in a place, but find it difficult to grow beyond.
Entry into market.
Into new market.
Not new, okay, entry into market. Okay, so the first one is, when you set up a board, it all depends. Okay? Why do startups set up boards? Anybody? Why do startups set up boards? Why would you need a board as a startup? For corporate governance, right? Okay. So you set up a board for your corporate governance. You now have to have skill on that board to give you your corporate governance. Okay? So if you look up in this slide, let's just take, for example, this. If you say, I'm setting up my board because I want good corporate governance, what do you see here? You need someone to hold you accountable, right? Accountability. So that culture of accountability. So you'll find someone who knows how to build a culture of accountability, transparency, integrity, right? Effective collaboration. Someone who knows how to partner, who can bring the right partnership, who can help you meet the right kind of network and so forth. Performance-oriented. Someone who can help you with metrics. How do I measure my employees, myself? You know, what are the things we're looking at for our customers to tell us that we're good? What do the metrics look like, right? So just this simple example can give you an idea of what is it that you will want for those board members to bring to your board. Now, some boards is about breaking through, you know, markets, like you said. Your board might be set up because you want that board to advise you on how to get into new markets or how to deal with the barriers to entering a market. That could also be a reason why you have a board, right? So it all depends on what you're trying to achieve as a startup. Some startups don't want governance. They just want to make money, right? When I say manage your don't just manage your customer. I'm saying don't be mediocre about the way you look at your customer. Be deliberate. Love on your customer. Be very passionate about your customer. If you're passionate about your customer, they'll be passionate about being loyal to your business. If you take them like anyhow, oh yeah, next person come, 50 kobo, they will leave you. 50 kobo. Anybody else before I go? Okay, we have them. Yeah, we're done? We'll take one more and I'm done.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Always nice to hear you speak. Just a clarity on the number of employed persons in Nigeria. So Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, December 2020, employed persons 46,488,079. Out of this, 41.7 million already SMEs. MSMEs. Let's assume an SME employs just one person. That's 41.7 million already.
Yep.
While I was in banking, there was a survey that was done of how many people were employed by the big banks, the blue chips like Dangote, the MTNs of this world. Interestingly, we're just about 100,000 people
Yep.
at that time. So it's actually the MSMEs that drive the economy of Nigeria, and they employ the highest number of people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Dr. Koka. That was a very illuminating speech, keynote. So now I'll be calling on Dr. Franklin Ngu to present and honor Dr. Koka with the gift. Please keep clapping until he gets on stage. Keep clapping if you got some really good nuggets from Dr. Koka. This was an amazing, amazing presentation. Keep clapping, encourage them, encourage them. Thank you. We appreciate you, ma'am. For me, for one, I got a lot of nuggets from this presentation. Should I go over them, or you got them too? Should I? You got them? Are you sure? Okay. So we'll move on to the panel session. We're going to be bringing up, work with me, people, right? As we call them, just be clapping until they get to their seats. Can we do that? We can? All right. So we're going to call on our moderator first, Dr. Henrietta. She is currently the Director of Entrepreneurship Innovation Center in Lagos Business School. She's also a visiting African faculty at the Yale School of Management. She's passionate about economic development and social transformation in Nigeria and Africa, and has initiated the creation of over 100 profitable social impact businesses through the MBA and MBA programs at LBS. And I have to say that my company, Stickermore.ng, is one of the companies that came out of Dr. Henrietta's class. So give it up for Dr. Henrietta Owagwize. Let's go. Keep clapping. No, she sits down, please. Keep clapping. You're very welcome. Okay, so we'll move on to Mrs. Adetutu Afolabi. Mrs. Adetutu Afolabi is a pharmacist, serial entrepreneur, and wellness consultant. She's the co-founder of Hazen Holdings, an organization with interest in health, marketing, communication, energy, and agro-allied industries. In 2007, Wellness was born out of her keen interest in affordable and accessible healthcare for the community members. Keep clapping, please. Oh, she's already here. Should we keep going? Welcome, Mrs. Adetutu Afolabi. Okay, next we have Mrs. See, the women are, please, you should just be clapping for us. Just because they are women, just be clapping for us, please. Celebrate us. Come on. Okay, Mrs. Bisi Adeyemi is the Managing Director, CEO of DCSL Corporate Services. She holds an MBA from LBS. She's also the President, Chairman of the Council, Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. She's an expert in residence at the Enterprise Development Center in the Pan-Atlantic University. You're welcome, ma'am. Are we tired of clapping? Let's celebrate them. Okay, who do we have next? Dr. Segun Adaju. Dr. Segun Adaju is the CEO, Consistent Energy Limited. He's an international expert in the field of renewable energy and president of the Renewable Energy Association of Nigeria. He's influenced the policy framework for renewable energy in Nigeria by being a strong advocate in decentralizing energy solutions. Please make welcome Dr. Adaju. Okay, we have Mr. Olawale Ayilara. He's the current founder, CEO of Landway. They are sponsors. Please, let's make it louder. Woo! Of Landway. He's also an alumnus of Lagos Business School. And then we have Otumba Pradip Hawani. Otumba is the co-founder of Caring Community Creators, a foundation to carry out many community-based charity work. He's a serial entrepreneur with over 30 years experience in Nigeria. He has been conferred with the title Otumba Atunlushe of Jogaland by the Oba Adeyemi Adeleke. Welcome. Okay, so we look forward to a very, very robust and very interesting conversation. Over to you, Dr. Henrietta.
Right, so thank you very much, Onyinye, and welcome everybody. It's nice to see familiar faces, a few new faces that I haven't met, but mainly faces that I have seen in class. So we have here with us today a very interesting range of panelists who are entrepreneurs in their own rights and who are operating purpose-driven businesses. So I believe that the keynote speaker provided a perfect background to this. On one hand, she's told us that SMEs contribute as much as 50% to our national GDP. That is significant. I mean, that's not a joke, okay? On the other hand, she's also mentioned that MSMEs employ as high as 84% of our total population. So it's not government that employs the majority. It's not the oil companies. It's not even the big conglomerates, but MSMEs, okay? So what this tells us is that they are a very important component of the economy, not only of our country, but of any economy. Even in developed nations, the figures are more or less the same. MSMEs are the engines of economic growth. So what this means for us is that it's very, very important that they survive. Now, on the other hand, we know that the survival rate of MSMEs is very precarious. Okay? 80% of them die before they are 3 years old. And so because it's so important for the economy of any nation, research has been done as to why businesses die so easily. And the number one reason, of course, when you ask businesses what their pain points are, the first thing they say is what? Sorry? Finance. Everybody says it's money, okay? But if I give you money and you don't know how to run a business, will your business succeed? Okay? So the second thing they found was the problem was training, management training. But the very first thing, believe it or not, is something we hear a lot about, but we sort of think it's just English or grammar, is that they are not purpose-driven. People go into business out of necessity. Okay? So you have three categories of entrepreneurs. You have the necessity-driven entrepreneurs, like the keynote speaker spoke about. You have the opportunity-driven entrepreneurs who are looking for profit at all costs. And when I say at all costs, it means, even if it means poisoning you, we're going to get your money. Okay? And then you have the purpose-driven entrepreneurs who want profit, of course, but they're more interested in purpose. They're interested in impacting society. They're interested in transformation of society. And so they make money from making a difference. Now, of these three categories, guess which category has been found to be most profitable? The last category, the ones that look money to small businesses. Now, I'm not trying to advertise her, but this is just the truth. So starting from a 3-year-old business, remember I said most MSMEs die in their 3rd year. They are growing. And the trajectory is upward. Because they are focused not just on making money, but on helping the masses, the poorest of the poor, and MSMEs be able to continue their operations. And as they do this, okay, they're creating not only financial inclusion, they're putting food in people's mouths, empowering people, helping them go to school, etc. So they're helping the nation grow. Right, so I'll stop here and I'll ask our panelists to sort of tell us a bit about what they do and what the purpose behind their businesses are, because everyone sitting here with us today is driving a purpose-driven business. Okay, so I'll just start with BC on my left and then I'll continue in this direction. We need to turn it on. You want to use this one?
It's on.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes. I'll start with what I do and how we got into it. So DCSA used to be a part of Deloitte. Deloitte, as you all know. Is this better? Okay. So Deloitte, as we all know, is a global firm, is a global accounting firm. A few years ago, it's about 8 years ago now, there was a global audit, and the firm decided that the business that I was in charge of, at that time we were under Deloitte as a unit of Deloitte. And that business now constituted a conflict to the firm, because as auditors, you could be providing management services. And the key service we're providing at the time was company secretarial, providing external company secretarial services to clients of the firm. And, the reality of it didn't dawn on me that, you had that big brand behind you, and until we had a presentation, we had turned in a proposal to one of the big banks to provide a corporate governance audit. And we had turned in the proposal as Deloitte. And after that happened, we now were invited to come and do a presentation. And the only question we were asked is that now you see you're no longer at Deloitte Corporate Services, you're a company called DCSL. Do you still have anything to do with Deloitte? Are you still able to use their resources? And I couldn't tell a lie. I said, no, we don't. And of course, we didn't get the brief. So it was then clear to me that we had to build from the scratch a business that had its own identity, that had, a brand of its own. We didn't have anything to lean on. We couldn't no longer lean on Deloitte. So what did I do? Or two things. It was either, go the easy route, or because everybody was now confused. I had a team of young people who had come to work for a multinational, and suddenly you're telling them that it's now a local brand, unknown brand, So it was like, okay, what should we do? Should we all just disband? There was an offer from the firm, by the way, that okay, come back to the firm and then just be part of a unit still, but you will no longer be offering those services. I said, you know what, there's a point in what we're doing. We're providing governance. We're looking at how organizations were structured. And we're doing it in a way, as far as I know, that hadn't been done before. So we're not just looking at rating companies because regulations said they should be this way and that way. But we believed that if they had the proper structure, they would function more optimally. So I said, no, we'd go all out on our own. So, we decided to, have a vision different from the vision of Deloitte, of course, put together a team that had the appropriate talent and all of that. But more importantly, and I think this is where we got it right the most, we decided that we needed a board. We needed a board because we needed to be accountable. Is one thing to start a business, is another thing to feel responsible and accountable to a group of people. And I think the guest speaker had alluded to what a board could do. So yes, we practiced what it is that we're preaching. We started with a board, and that board helped us to set up the right structures. So we're driven by the passion that we have, that we're making a difference in the governance space. The jury is out, like I always say, but I think we have a recognizable brand, I want to believe. So if I mention DCSL, apart from a few people who are trying to be naughty, they don't ask me what it is anymore, and they don't ask me whether it is part of Deloitte or it isn't anymore. So yeah, I think deciding that this is what it is I wanted to do, having a board and having a clear focus has sort of helped us.
Thank you. I'm already wired. Okay, I forgot I was already wired, so you can actually use the microphone. Okay, so let's hear from you.
So it's
Wale.
my turn now.
Yes, the founder of Landway and our sponsor for today.
Okay, so my job has been, thank you. So I help people own homes. It's it's a very red ocean industry, and it's a very challenging one. But it's very quick to, it's very easy to tell if you are very profit-driven or if you're very purpose-driven by the type of projects that you take on and thinking about sustainability, functionality of homes that people stay. We all live in different part of Lagos or maybe outside Lagos, but for me, starting a real estate business is is more than the cash flow for me, because I could have done a lot of things. And it's easy to just focus on the profit and give the market what the market wants. But it's very funny in my industry because sometimes the market don't even know what they want. And what they are particular about is the price. You know, in my industry, people focus too much on the price rather than on the quality. So you have to be very intentional about your message, and for you to be able to register your product in the minds of the clients. I've had people tell me that why is your product this price and this other person is selling at this price? At some point, you know, someone tried to get a home from us, and then what we were selling at about 65 million, got it somewhere else for about 40 million. And after 6 months, he called me that, okay, there's a part of the house that is shocking. I'm like, first, didn't the price shock you? So, you know, but for us, with the kind of project that we're taking on, we are more deliberate about the future, sustainable development. That's why you see us come up with projects like Isimi Lagos, come up with Eco Stay, Millennial Town. Those kind of things is way beyond profit. Because if it's profit, it's easy for you to just build and then build and just put it to the market. But because we've been very intentional about what we've set out to do, it has given us that credibility in the market. And the business is 5 years plus. And I can tell you that currently right now we're the largest residential developer in the whole of Nigeria. And not only that, I can't mention figures here for security reasons. You know, but for us at Landway and Oxygen Holdings we are very intentional about what we've set out to do. That we tell people that the business, we have a plan for the next 80 years. And I'm not joking. 80 years for the business. You know, we started with site and service, which is just buy land and develop the infrastructure. Here in Nigeria, people don't even take note of ordinary fire hydrant. People don't take note of if you have a first aid center within your development. And it's easy to get away with that, with all of that, without doing all these things. It's easy for you to just build and not make sure that you have enough trees within the development and all that. You know, but for us, we put all these elements together just because of what we decided to set out to do and the purpose that we have for the business. Then we move into residential development, and then now we've moved into commercial development, and then we move into industrial development, and there's plans for all these things. So it's really beyond profit, because at different levels of the business, people have said, I mean, why are you going this extra mile? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you intentional about the painting of the house? Because people don't even know the difference between paints. That there are some paints that when you move into your home, if you don't, you feel the same temperature that is outside and all those, you know, and all those things. And you're wondering why your house is hot, despite the fact that you have all your air conditions on. People are not deliberate about the type of floors, and you know. But for us, we are very, you know, the mandate is that any house that I cannot stay, we cannot build and sell, and it shows to the amount of work that because my industry is a very crazy one, because you're dealing with about 75% unskilled labor. There's no technical school for tiler. There's no technical school for the for the guy that will do your POP. There's no technical school for the painter. There's nothing like that. And sometimes people think that your own is too much, because why are you let me just do my job and get out. But you're telling them this is the way I want it done, and they'll prefer to work for another person than to work for you, because they know that you are really going to squeeze out the best in them. So we bring in artisans from neighboring countries, and as little as that is, it's a lot of sector that we are losing. It's a lot of sector that we're losing because local artisans believe that I can get from lotto pay. From playing a lotto, from playing betting, I can get the same amount that you want to pay me per day. And you're not guaranteed to see them the next day. So you have to house, for us, we have about over 3,000 imported laborers into the country. And we have to house all of these guys because the local artisans believe that once I get a bike, I can make this. So it's a whole lot. But because of the purpose that we have and how we are intentional about what we set out to do, we are moving through all this challenge, and then we're creating a difference within the market. And for that, we've gained a whole lot of. I can tell you that I'm not, but I'm so sure that we have more customers than a lot of businesses that have been around for the last 15 years.
Absolutely.
And that's the truth. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, again, I think that the two speakers who have spoken so far are proof again that quality, value, purpose drives profits, okay? Attracts profitability. So we have BC who started from scratch, okay? Deloitte was detached, and so people felt they can't be that good. But today, they're a name to reckon with simply because each person they served got a good service, okay, and so recommends the next person, and that's how your brand really grows. It doesn't depend on just how much money you spend on social media ads, okay? If people come to you and they get good service, then they tell other people and you keep attracting more customers. Now, Landwell, on the other hand, I must say that I have first-hand experience of the quality of their buildings. In fact, the first time I went into one of their sample properties, I said, who did this decor? It was so beautiful. Even their offices, okay? And they said, oh, it's our MD himself. He doesn't entrust that to anybody, okay? So definitely when you build well, people who have bought your properties will tell other people, and that's how in 5 years, they've grown to be the biggest in a country that has had several property companies playing in the field all these years. For the simple reason that people believe that once it's on my house, I don't need to put too much, effort. There's no need for me to do too much. Okay, just put something up, let people buy. It's their business what they find. Okay, so well done. But the only reason why I would say a bit more is because that aspect of an academy to train artisans is one place where we can reduce crime significantly in this country and really invest in. So I would say, please think about backward integrating into an academy for artisans because it will help your business grow and it will help the country too.
Thank you so much. My name is Shegun. I run a company that focuses on killing these generators that we are all familiar with. So when they ask me, what do you do? I just tell you I kill generators. And I replace them with an alternative that is better, cheaper, more affordable, cleaner. I mean, just name all the works. And this generator is called I Better Pass My Neighbor. So how did I get to this place? I'm an economist, but I'm in the engineering sector. So sometime in 2006, I was getting restless as a banker. I mean, I was an assistant vice president at FCMB, overseeing all the branches in Lagos. But I had an encounter one night when I was going home. And one guy pulled the trigger on me. But luckily, he didn't shoot. I mean, so that kept me thinking that, Shegun, if you are the only one that is successful in this area with a big car, then you are not safe. So I started thinking and reading. Luckily, at that time, I stumbled on 2 books. One by Professor Muhammad Yunus, Banker to the Poor. The second one by Prahalad and Ahmed, Fortune at the Base of the Pyramid. So I read those 2 books and I never remained the same. And it was clear for me that I had to leave banking. How it was going to happen, I never knew. But I just knew I was going to operate at that base of the pyramid. Luckily, the Central Bank of Nigeria came out with a policy to set up microfinance at that time. It was clear that I was going to jump. I didn't know what I was going to jump into, but myself and a friend decided that we are taking this jump. So we started the first microfinance bank in Nigeria. It had never been done before. We're driven by the fact that, look, we cannot leave society the way it is. Otherwise, if I had been lucky that the trigger was not pulled that day, my son might not be lucky. That was the drive. Of course, it's another story, either it was successful or it failed. I was discussing with Otumba. Of course, the business failed for so many reasons, but that's the topic for another day. But I refused to get into banking back. I was offered an needy position in the bank at that time, 3 years after, but I refused. I just felt I'm no longer caught up for the regular banking. So I ran into energy poverty. I became a consultant with UNDP and then set up a division for renewable energy in Bank of Industry. And then one day I went to a barber shop, okay? Then there was this huge energy challenge. The grid was shut down. There was no fuel. If you had money, then you couldn't buy for 1 week. I don't know how many of us remember. It was before Buhari came into power. So, I mean, my afro used to be bigger than this. So I was having a haircut and then light out. No fuel in generator, nothing. So I had to take the barber's cap, on my head, went home, and started thinking, Shegun, there's a need here that you need to solve, okay? If you cannot solve the need of a barber, then what are you consulting for, right? So I gathered some money together, did a pilot over 3 months. I deployed to the first barber, my own barber, Peter, in Magodo, and asked him to use this system for 2 months. And let's see. So we're doing pilots. The first didn't work. We replaced the second, the third. We got it right. And then I went back to him that, well, I need to take this to another location to go and do pilot. And he says, how much is it? Then it was about $1,000, 365,000 naira. And of course, it was a no-no. Because the guy will just buy a small generator for 12,000 naira then. It's about 35,000 naira now. And then he's buying fuel 500 naira or 1,000 naira every day. And then in 1 year, he has spent 250,000 naira just fueling himself. In 2 years, 500,000 naira. So I proved to him that, yes, I can give you this solution, but we'll have a deal. Every week, you give me 5,000 naira that you probably you'll have used to power your generator. And then we turn it into a business model. And over 2 years, he has fully paid, and we transfer the system. The inverter, the solar can last for 20, 25 years. The inverter will last average 10, 15 years. The batteries will use about 3 years, minimum. So in 2 years, he has recovered his money, right? And then the other number of years is almost for free. So we turned this to a business model. And then aside, there's this saying that if you want to buy a Range Rover today, you begin to suddenly see Range Rover all over the whole place, right? Something you have not seen before because your heart is there. So when I read news and items, aside stumbling on how many people have died because they have inhaled this smoke from this tiny generator, the one that was most shocking to me was a grandmother and the grandchildren, 4 of them. They slept and they never woke up because the fume from that tiny generator was somehow, because, they didn't want to keep it away from the living area so that it won't be stolen. And then it became an issue. So I bought the first solar lantern November 26, 2012. It's going to be 10 years now that I've been on this journey. And I took it to my mother in the village. And I said, Mama, give me your kerosene lantern. Let's do a switch, a swap or a switch, yeah. We did that, and up to today, she has never used kerosene lantern. And I said, this is a business that I can actually turn into business, but it's purpose-driven. Today, we've done over 10,000 SMEs. We provide finance for them. So we also brought our idea from banking, the microfinance, to create credit for those guys. And today, they give testimonies. Some of them have opened additional shops because of the savings they have made from not using, a better price generator. We've raised, and we also later find that, investors, patient capital, grant funding started looking for us. The idea wasn't at the start that it's money, but we just need that there's a need somewhere to be solved. Today, my vision, my personal vision, is that by year 2030, I will have taken away, I will have destroyed 1 million of those generators. Mind you, there are about 42 million of those generators in Nigeria.
Wow.
So if I do 1 million, and 40 other people here do 1 million, we'll have killed this generator by year 2030. That is the drive. And I must tell you, it's sustainable. It's profitable. It will sustain your business. But the first drive is not that you want to make this ton of money from running this business. The idea is that you are the light. And you cannot be a light and there's darkness around you. And that you have to be that light to create, contributing to the what we call the SDG. By year 2030, the world is supposed to, if we continue to run the way we're running now, it's been said that the next generation will might not even be around. Because we are killing the climate, And if we don't take that action now, at a conference we had in Kigali, I just got back yesterday, the youths, they were clear about it, that all this like us, this problem is not something we can transfer. You know, many problems you can transfer to the next generation for them to solve it. Maybe, for example, the governance of Nigeria. You can say, well, the youth should come and solve it. This climate change, you can't transfer it. Because by the time those youths, get to, they will have been dead, all of us. All right? So it's exciting to talk about this, but it's a passion-driven business, purpose-driven, but that is making impact in the world, and also commercially viable. Thank you.
So, thank you so much, Segun. That's such a fantastic project that is making an impact and making a difference. Just before Tutu begins to speak, let me also say, I hope that those of us with an entrepreneurial mindset here are seeing a franchising opportunity, okay, to key into this. Speak with him afterwards and see whether you can be a franchise to help accelerate this termination of generators. I even see him being able to work with you to see how you can power you've spoken already. So you see how entrepreneurs, they've already connected, okay? So I hope you're not just listening, but you're thinking of how you can key into all these various opportunities that are being spoken about. Thank you very much. That's really exciting.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here to tell the story again. I want to tell you that my member 5 project is on training of artisans. And it's a viable business because we really did the research. We know that Nigeria loses about over $3 billion every year to artisans that are brought in from other I think $32 billion. I can't remember, to artisans brought in from other African countries. It is huge. So we're actually
it's a profitable venture.
We did a research. It's project supervisor asked if they could take it up and see who will use it. Very beautiful, it's profitable, and we're going to add value if we really do it well. Yes, a lot of Nigerians going into bets and all that. We all know that people just want hopes and all that. So I want to start by saying that God loves entrepreneurs because entrepreneurs are the core engine that drives humanity in the world. Entrepreneurs are restless about the present, and they look at how they can remove either the pain or increase the gain in whatever activities that comes to their mind. So he's removing the pain of exhaust, the exhaust and the CO2 that kills people. The fact that all of your livelihood goes into buying of fuel and all that, and you're not better for it. It's killing the pain of, renting a home and the electricity shocking you. That's brilliant. You go to homes. I remember I've been to someone's home that had a baby, and they actually put on the lantern in the day because there was no light. There was no rays of light into that home. And I'm like, really? Who approves this kind of home in Nigeria? Yes, there's a room apartment. And do you know what? Let me shock you. The drainage, the gutter, passes through.
Inside the house.
Inside the house. I'm telling you, I was shocked. I told my children one day that I'll take them to that house so that they can see that people can actually, stay in very funny environment. She's solving the problem of corporate governance, which everybody needs. It's not just about making money. So for me, I also want to say, somebody asked a question that Dr. Coker actually said that it shouldn't just be about survival. Yes, you can start that business as a necessity, as a survivor, but you need to graduate your how to what can sustain that business. When I started wellness in 2007, it was just because we wanted to raise our children and raise them properly. Because if everybody goes out to look for the funds, you might not pay enough attention. And all of us are also seeing the impact of mothers not even paying attention to children. We really wanted godly children. we wanted good children. And since God has given them to us, we didn't want to, because just 4 months after I had my baby, my husband had to travel for 2 weeks. I also had to travel for 2 weeks for work. And we had to drop my daughter with my mom. And we're like, do you have to continue like this? How long, you know? And I'm a very ambitious person. So I know that once I start, it's difficult. You know people, they say it's only go she hears. Yes, I am that person. And that was why we started Wellness. But we graduated from that purpose because my children are in the boarding houses now. What could have happened if that was the only reason? Do you understand? Then the business will be no more, because that's the only reason why I took them there. But so for people, you can start for any reason. But for you to have a sustainable business, you have to graduate your why to a purpose that can outlast you. So when you are giving me a business project and you are telling me to invest in your business, I'm also asking, can this be done for a lifetime? If I cannot do it for a lifetime, then it's not worth pursuing. It's not worth my energy, because I'm going to stop in the process. That is it. So we started a pharmacy. I just wanted to pay attention to my children. While I was there, I began to research into what are the pains people go through running a pharmacy, and what are the needs that needs to be satisfied. What are the values that we need to create? By the time somebody came to my outlet the first night we started, they said, did you people come from abroad? I said, no, I've not been abroad. He said, but these things. I said, yes, because human beings that comes to take medication from you must feel good. They must believe the medication can work. You must sell that hope to them. That is the reason why they come. It's not just about handing over the medication. And that is why since 2007 up till now, wellness pharmacies will not open without a pharmacist, no matter how difficult and how stressful it is. It's not about the numbers. If I'm handing over medications to you, it should be handed to you by a professional. So that is the purpose. We want to make access to care free and easy, and give that hope that this life is not replaceable. So I must give the right medication, because every life, look at him. If that life has been expunged that day, he can't be here. Yes, God will raise another person to fulfill this dream. Because that's why I said God loves entrepreneurs. He's always telling us, there's a need, take care of it for me. There's a pain, remove it for me. That's what God does to us. And that's why you just feel uncomfortable with the norm. And you begin to ask yourselves, why and how and what should I do to solve those problems? And that is what wellness is all about. And we keep doing things every day to change. So from pharmacies, we started HMO. And the reason why we started HMO wasn't because, a lot of people want to start HMO now because government is signing into bill free. It's when you get there, you realize that it's not moi. It's a lot of work. But the truth about it is we wanted to do it because we just feel, okay, we invested in HMO because each time people come to my outlet, and they just go, they ask for the price of the drugs, and they go. And you're asking them 3 days after, you've not come to buy the medication. And somebody is saying, my children have not sent the money. I don't have until end of the month. And so when the idea of health insurance, we got that idea, we said, oh, let's do health insurance. People will pay small, and they can get more. That was the only reason. Can people pay small to get more? And I can tell you, the health insurance business in Nigeria, even though it does not have a lot of traction, has been able to keep a lot of Nigerians alive. Because without that industry, a lot of Nigerians would have been dead. A lot of people wouldn't even go for CS. All those things that we cover and all that. And I feel fulfilled doing that. That, oh, you give me about 25,000 naira, I can go for a surgery of 250,000 naira. Wow. And people come back and say, is this true? I was still talking to a prospect last week. Said, is this happening in Nigeria? I said, yes. It's just because you're not. Some of us just believe the worst of this country. So even the things that are right, we can't see it. So that is what gave back, and that is what has been driving us as wellness. We launched just 2 apps this year. Somebody asked if you're not an health person. Yes, I can't code, but just like she said, I know what I want the technology to solve for me. Technology is not the business. Technology is the enabler of the business. I know what that technology needs to solve. So I need to tell them this is the problem I want to solve. We launched Farmer Center. When I wanted to build Farmer Center, I just wanted to build something where my clients can buy. Then after my clients buy, because we have pharmacists, we buy on that platform, we still realize we're stranded. There's no place to buy another set of medications. You have to keep looking for who. So we said, let's have a marketplace for pharmaceutical industry. By the time we were launching, I was told, people were saying, oh, we've been thinking about this, we've been dreaming about this. Yes, that's why I said, God talks to entrepreneurs. He tells everybody, do this for me, solve this problem for me. Yes, and he needs people that will take action, that will do the market research, that will do the market research to identify the problem. You see, entrepreneur is not, this person is doing this, let me do it too. That's why we fail. And she said we need to leave that survival mode and look at sustainability. So survival is, I just want to eat, I want to drink, my family has to be fine. If that's the only reason why you are doing this, you're still going to fail because it is not worth your energy. If the only reason why you want to do this is sleep, let me have a comfortable house. I used to tell people that when I wanted to get married to my husband, I have 10 questions I want to ask the guy. And each person, I'll tell you, where do you want to be in 10 years? And people will say, oh, in 10 years I would have bought a house, I'll have 3 cars, I'll have it. That's a no for me. I can't live with that. It's too much, a basal vision to live for. I called him, but so when I met my husband, he said, I want to be captain of industry. I said, I'll live with this one. I'll go with you. Yeah. Because that means we'll do a lot. He said, I want to have about 20,000, 200,000 people in my employment. I said, hey, this one, before we finish, we'll go down reach heaven now. Yes. The vision, the how, why are you alive? If why you're alive is to help to sustain humanity, then entrepreneurship is for you. Because you are going to be seeing problems to solve. Opportunities are immense in Nigeria. Yes, I'm not saying people should not jackpot, people should stay. But there is so much problem to be solved. And for every problem and value created, there is a gain. You can't be stranded as an entrepreneur. You can't. I've never been stranded. I've been out of school since 2001. I've not been stranded. Yes, I started, I've sold microwave because then I was selling microwave to women that when you come back from the office, put this thing inside the microwave and warm. Microwave wasn't very common then. I sold it. I would say just warm the meal and serve your family. That's what microwave is for. Of course, people are saying there is radiation and all that. But that was it. We will sell freezer to newly married couples. Why? Because we want them to be able to, we'll tell the woman, cook the food, put it in the freezer so that when you come back from work, you can, and that was it. So it's about purpose. It's about you looking at a problem and solving it. And that's what has sustained our business. Wellness is growing. And of course, we have interest in we have interest in renewable energy, F&T and all that. And everything we do is about what problem are we solving? And what is the purpose of this problem? Yes, and entrepreneurs have the capacity to see opportunities and see opportunities that are viable. It's not all opportunities that are viable. There are even some opportunities that the market is not ready for. And the people that jump on it first might suffer a lot. Yes, but they will get there because the market will be ready. So that is the capacities and competencies that one has to build. And of course, somebody asked about competencies skills you have to build now. You have to build that skills of networking now. The skills of asking questions. You see, I used to tell my team, if you're not asking questions, I believe you know it. If not, you must be dumb. Yeah, you must be foolish for not asking questions. Because you can't assume you know when you don't know. You should know you know. And if you don't know, you ask questions. Entrepreneurs ask questions. You ask questions when that idea comes to you. Don't hold the idea. When we're in secondary school, primary school, university, nobody sees what you are writing in your exams. But now you have to share, you have to ventilate. Somebody is telling you more. You are saying, I want to do this. Somebody is telling you, you can add, and that is how we've survived. We've asked a lot of questions. We are not afraid. I'm not afraid of people stealing my idea. Because your why and my why are going to be different. And that is what sustains me.
So thank you so much, Tutu. I think that was a brilliant explanation of a lot of the things we've been talking about here. And I think that sort of highlights the fact, explains the fact when we say that every problem is a potentially profitable business opportunity. So Nigeria has problems, means Nigeria has several opportunities. And as MBAs, this is how we should be thinking. So thank you so much, Tutu. That was brilliant. Okay. So let's hear from Otumba.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. When my prof, that's Dr. Henrietta, why I'm saying my prof, because when I was in school here, she was my prof. Once a prof, always a prof. Am I right? So when she sat down and she said, all of you, I looked myself as a class student here, said, answer this question. What was the question? What is the purpose of your business? So I want to answer that question as a student. After all, we are in the school, right? So my business is of insurance. So what's the purpose of my business? The purpose of my business is to make businesses sustainable. The purpose of my business is to make businesses sustainable. If you ask me how, I will tell you. If you don't ask me, I will continue with my grammar.
Yeah.
Thank you. Businesses are exposed to so many risks, which we don't pray it happens. But when it happens, you should have a plan B so that you're not off the market. Example, a person has a shop somewhere and in the marketplace, and overnight a fire raised the whole shop, and all the investment the person had was in that shop, and in the morning the person comes, hey, hey, person is crying, people are trying to console the person, but the person is literally, physically on the streets. Simple example of car. Your car was parked and morning you come there, the car is no more there. And that car was not only a means of transportation, it was also a means of your livelihood, because you're a marketing person, you're going on with that car, so it's a necessity for you, it's not a luxury. But what happens if the car is gone and you don't have a backup plan? So my job is to explain to the businesses that for your business to be sustainable, identify the risk you have, whether the risk of fire, whether it's the risk of theft, whether it's the risk of accident. You're sending goods from location A to location B. In between, some accident happens. Why? Bad road, bad condition of vehicles, driver being not attentive, etc., etc. No matter whose mistake it is you who are at the suffering end. So ordinarily, people don't believe in insurance because they think insurance is a scam. Why they think insurance is a scam? Because we collect a percentage of the sum insured, or what you want to insure. Suppose you want to insure a car of 3 million naira, we collect a percentage of that, we collect 60,000 naira, and say, don't worry, if this car lost, we go replace them for you. This one is scam. Oh, you go take one. So my job is to explain them, say, insurance no be scam. So that's the purpose of my business. So I'm helping businesses to be more sustainable as such. Coming to my second aspect, that is giving back to society. I have a foundation called Caring Community Creators, which I learned as a stepping stones from my experience from Rotary Club, which I still belong to. I strongly believe for businesses to be sustainable, they should have an arm, they should have a leg which gives back to the society. So going back to my prof, when you were talking to the panelists here about having an academy for the artisans, that could be a way of giving back to the society.
It's even profitable.
Think about it. It may not be a profit-making venture. You may use your own experience and artisans you have. It means, the way you explained, it means you have artisans who can deliver. What you have to do is use that artisans to become trainers, to pass on that skill from them to the other set of people. By that, you have created a whole family, a whole community of skilled artisans as such. And when they talk about where did you learn it, I learned it from Landway. Is it not a brand building? So you may not get financial returns from the people immediately as such, because whatever you're collecting fees from them, remember, those artisans, they don't have a whole lot of money with them to pay fees. That's why they're artisans. Am I right? But that point of time, you're not collecting hefty fees from them, but you're collecting some token amount for them to show some seriousness. Having done that, that brand which will build around that will now give you returns later by way of people patronizing that, oh, this guy has done this for this set of community as such. So my piece of advice to entrepreneurs here is, as you're setting up businesses, find a way to give back to the society. And in scriptures also is written that is in giving that we receive. Those who have experienced, I have met fellow Rotarians over here. I met, yes, from my club, one guy over there from my club, that fellow Rotarians here, who will testify to this fact that after joining Rotary Club, or after having the experience of giving back to the society, they became better persons, and in turn, it reflected in their businesses. That does not mean that when I went to Rotary Club, the Rotary person gave me his insurance business and I made money from that. No, a big no. People have that notion, oh, but he gives so much time to these projects. He must be making money from Rotary. Those people must be giving him their businesses to insure. Now lie. It is that giving back to the society which is helping me. Not that maybe some of them may be giving me businesses, but that's not the cocoa. The cocoa be. No, it's true now, it's true. Because I was discussing with some young entrepreneurs who were the cocktail here, at the foyer here. We were discussing this part that no matter what, it started early. I started a bit late. So he was laughing at me. He said, bros, it'd be like saying you start very late. I said, I started late, but I'm saying I will pass on this message to as many people as possible. So when they said, I have the microphone, I said, don't worry. I got talk on. I got delivered to people who they hear, who want to hear them. Thank you.
So, thank you so much, and you are so right. And if you remember in class, we're talking about the relationship between spirituality and business. And that's what he has just explained, okay? When you give, you get back. And usually much more than you've given, okay? And really, and this is really what a purpose-driven business does. So if you're purpose-driven, your business on its own is actually giving in the first place. And what he's saying is so true. I mean, each time I go past Circle Mall, I shake my head because it's so sad, the number of jobs that were lost because the mall hasn't been able to bounce back because they were not insured. Okay? And I'm sure at the time, if the insurance person came, even I would have thought, please, you know, but now we're seeing that they would have been saved if every shop paid an insurance premium. Okay, so today jobs are lost, the space is just there wasting because they can't recover from the post-EndSARS havoc. Right, so just one last round and very, very quickly. So what advice? We've seen that purpose is essential for business, profitability, and sustainability. Now, besides having purpose, what is that one other thing every business to know that they should do if they want to be sustainable and remain profitable? Okay.
Thank you. And I think the keynote speaker already alluded to it. You know, when we start a business, it's the same thing as when you ask somebody, you know, at a particular age, have you written a will? And they say, no, it's not my portion, you know, I still have a long way to go. So I think in starting a business, you should also think of succession. If your plan is that the business is going to be sustainable, at the point when you're starting it, what are the things you need to do that will ensure that beyond you just wishing that it will outlive you, beyond you just wishing that it will continue to be, do all of those things that will ensure that it actually does succeed you. And succession for me is one of the things we want to look at. And I'm not talking about succession just for yourself as founder, CEO, owner, you know, but every part of the business, every key functionality of the business. I mean, you don't want to have, if you, for instance, you're a fashion designer and you go to China, you buy a very expensive stoning machine, which you don't know how to use. There's just one person in your organization who knows how to use it. And the person, God forbid, one day starts coming to work and gets knocked down, and the person just dies. So, first of all, you've invested so much, you probably have gone to take a loan, and then nobody else knows how to use it. You're going to waste time and effort to start the process again. So succession is not just about for the future, but it's even now. So look at your business and see what are the critical roles that you don't want to wait until something bad or something good, because people always think when you talk about succession is something bad, So as business owner, you could get an offer to become minister for a period of time. You don't want to have that business stalled because you want to go and take up public service or some altruistic thing to do. So important for me is plan for succession as soon as you're starting the business.
Thank you. Very, very important. Okay.
So, all right. So, we have a lot of, we have week, and we're already thinking about this artisan training thing, but the thought of it alone is scary. But you see something, I promise. All right. So, my advice would be that for entrepreneurs here, I would say just two things. Something that has worked for me, I would say that focus on people is very, very, extremely, very important to your business survival, to your business growth, to everything about your business. People. And no matter how big you get to, no matter how big your organization is, as the visionary, as a founder, or whatever it is, make sure that you know everybody that is coming in and be part of that process. Most especially if your business is still within the 1 to 10 years, you have to be part of everybody coming in. We have over 300 staff, but I can tell you that I know everybody. I want to, just by looking at your face, I know if you belong in the organization and if you don't belong. Because it's the start and finish of everything for every business. People can destroy your business. You are not there, you're here, somebody is talking to your client. How they talk to your client, how they're dealing with your client, what they are telling your clients, everything matters a lot. So for me, I really care about that, and I will tell every business owner to also care about that. Also, my next point will be that no matter how busy you are in the present, because your business can get to that point that you're so much concerned about the day-to-day operations, you are overwhelmed by the amount of dealings that you currently have. Spend time to always think about the next 2 moves before it happens.